You never say shenanigans to me without me saying shenanigans.
That's a great
One
way
of
to
my
come
favorites.
in.
That's half the fun of the word.
Shenanigans. All right. Can you guys see the map now?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
pretty visible.
Everybody should have control. It's a group token. So, if you remember last session, since we're not flip-flopping so much anymore, you guys had tried to go around Shaw's domain and go straight for Sinew-Fey, hoping to find some aspect of healing there. And you were met with a strange barrier, not horribly unlike the others, but this one had a kick to it, and it destroyed Az's knee in the process with a reactive. What's that? Az?
I stubbed my toe real bad.
Yeah,
Real
bad.
bad.
Real bad.
Real bad.
But it had a reactive kind of explosion when you touched it and busted your toe. So you guys kind of said, well, okay, we won't mess with that right now, and went back to Shaw's domain, where you met up with a very lovely, friendly young lady who was incredibly kind and helpful and benign and benevolent and all those wonderful things.
Some number of those statements were true.
She assisted you.
You sent a fae our way, Chad.
Just a little one. She only kind of hurt one person.
Probably took a little bit of her soul, but not the whole soul.
It's alright, at least she didn't say, may I have your name?
Yeah, as far as Faye goes, that's practically good aligned.
Yeah, she was actually very handy. But you guys left with yet another key. And were able to walk out of Shaw's domain, the withered, terrible place that it was. And I believe your goal was to once again throw yourselves at Sinew-Fey's realm. If I'm not mistaken, of course. That choice is entirely up to you guys.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in that case, we will pick up right there. I won't make you guys hazard the walk. Nothing insane will happen. It's a pretty desolate place, the Mother's Head. There's really not a lot there, at least where you're at right now. So you've made that traversal between Shaw's domain and Sinew-Fey's domain before. So you make the walk once again. Az's leg is healed up thanks to the benevolent, kind Fey creature, who is actually one of the heroes of the story.
Is that how that works? I don't know.
And you once
I can fix her.
you once again stand outside poor Sinew-Fey's domain. You can definitely still get the sense that there's something wrong here. Something different than the other locations. So I will let you guys pick up from there and take over. Tell me what you'd like to do.
As we approach, I chuck another rock at it at an extreme angle so the ricochet does not come right back at us.
It reacts just as it did before and launches it spiraling off into space.
Do we see the boundaries of the dome when it does this?
You can kind of see like a reactive warble where it strikes in a slight area around the warble, but it doesn't light up the whole dome or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, shit. I was hoping that'd be gone.
So we don't have a way of, besides walking around it and throwing several rocks at it, knowing where it is completely.
Unless you want to, get a stick and draw a line at where it starts hurting. You could. If you guys honestly want to take the time to carefully kind of prod and press and like throw sand or whatever, to figure out where the boundaries of this dome are, you can. I won't.
I would like to do that. Yes.
It'll take a little while, but I mean, if you're careful, you can do it without causing any further harm to yourselves. Your party's not stupid at this point. You've learned a few tricks. I would hope, right? You've been through a lot. But yeah, you'll mark out the dome. It encircles the entire location. It's pretty large, by all intents. By most standards, it's pretty large. Looking in as you make your circle around, you can tell at one time that there was some type of central structure to the place. One large, kind of very cozy looking central structure, like a dome of earth. You imagine at one time had gardens and flowers and plants growing all over it. And then several smaller, similar, like thatched roofs and type, simple buildings, not unlike you would have found in places like Fingal's Rise and Amber Hearth, the ruined halfling settlements. However, they have fallen to complete disrepair. And as you make your circle around the dome, looking within, you notice there's a dark miasma, like almost like dry ice kind of clinging to the ground, just kind of flowing back and forth within the dome. And as you make your way around it, you can actually kind of see the limits of the dome once you recognize where the miasma stops.
Does it look like it's connected to anything outside this area, or it's just a self-contained sort of?
It's not as far as you can tell. It doesn't appear to be any external cause or attachment beyond it.
Well, this is going to be a tough one to get beyond. It looks like the barrier is in place to keep whatever this miasma is in. So it won't leak out.
Maybe if it thinks that Shaw's presence is here, then maybe we can get past the barrier.
So, Saoirse's going to try something.
Okay.
She is going to pull out Sinufei's letter because she still has it. She, never let go of it. And she is going to hold it out in front of her to lead with the letter. And she's going to slowly walk up to the barrier. Never interacting with it, because, she wants to see if that warp, it kind of vibrates whenever she gets close, like what happened whenever Jimmy tried to break it last time. So, yeah, she's gonna try that.
So the same reaction begins to happen as you grow closer to the boundary. The paper begins to flutter and your hand kind of begins to shake. You can feel the energy radiating off of it like it's about to react.
Well, Saoirse's going to back up at that point.
Okay.
Well, that didn't work.
What's it made of?
What's what made out of?
Does this dome have any sort of surface tension? Like,
Dome.
it just bounces things off of it like a hard surface, or does it, when it warbles, does it sort of ripple like that?
seems to kind of ripple. Although it's a reaction that causes the blowback. It's not like it's bouncing off. It's almost like it touches something and then explodes and blasts it away, so to speak.
Bryn is going to turn to Az and say, "Well, darling, if this barrier is anything like the ones we've encountered in the past, then it's probably made out of some sort of divine energy."
What do you know about divine energies?
I have a fairly decent judgment of its energy signature. Why?
Just curious. But if it's keeping something in, then taking it down sounds like a bad thing, right?
That's my guess anyways, that it's there to keep something in. I mean, just look at that miasma on the ground.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I can see the miasma, right?
Yeah.
Can I push it around?
You can
Like-
try and pierce the veil, or not the veil, the dome.
Well, I don't really need to, do I? It's based on line of sight, and if I can see through this dome, then I can manipulate whatever's through it.
That's what I mean, like pierce it with your ability, not like physically like puncture it. Sorry, bad word choice of words.
We're just gonna give it a little try here.
All right, you want to try and push the miasma around?
Slightly.
Poke.
Okay.
Just like as if I were taking a finger and swirling it around.
Okay. And so Genesis, I'm assuming, is doing this, right?
Right.
Okay. Just to make sure, because I know Istu's got some crazy powers. All right, so give me an ability roll for Genesis. Just your basic, like, psychic powers. But you...
Establish this is the modifier for this. Okay, 29.
Solid. Very solid roll. Okay, so... you... nothing holds you back. But as you move through the barrier, you almost feel like your psychic sense is... It's like moving through sticky goo. Like you can feel like residual energy almost like attaching to your psychic presence as it pushes through and into the dome, where normally it would just be like a pass through, like nothing's there. So there's something there psychically that is involved. But you manage to make through. It doesn't hurt you or push back. And you manage to kind of move the miasma around. And those of you who are watching can kind of see the little tufts of the miasma kind of roil and twist from something kind of pushing them around, some invisible hand. Genesis, give me a perception check.
Perception. The right character sheet. Yep. 12.
Okay. So, while you're pushing the miasma around, and it's especially very close to the ground, it's kind of thick and dark, but you notice there's something under it. A lot of something. But you can't really make out what it is. Like the moment you push some of the miasma aside, it just kind of roils back in underneath, and refills the vacuum that you left.
I want to try to move some of the miasma off the edge of this dome, and then see if it still reacts the same way. Like if the bouncing back of whatever hits it is caused by the presence of the miasma beneath it, and it needs to keep whatever it is away from that, or if I'm capable of moving the miasma away from the barrier and then breaking it.
Okay. Like moving it from the edge of the dome and seeing if it weakens the dome.
Right. A little bit more forcefully this time, like actually trying to push it away. I
Alright.
get my setup here.
Smack! Yeah, go give me another ability check if you would.
Oh boy. Alright. Alright.
You got this.
No. 13.
No, this isn't a difficult roll, so don't worry. You're fine. You're fine. So you do kind of push it away. Once again, you're having a hard time controlling the substance, and it's fair, because you're just brushing it aside, really. And you know how, say this was dry ice fog, if you were just kind of trying to brush it away, it just kind of rolls back in behind itself. But you managed to push it away a little bit. Is anyone else watching this happen attentively, or are you guys just kind of off doing your own things?
Jimmy has little else to do but watch. Listeners actually off doing something else.
Okay.
Likewise for Bryn and Saoirse as Jimmy.
Okay. Well, any of you who are watching attentively, and I'll leave that up to you. It's your choice. May also do this, but I'll allow perception checks as you do manage to kind of push some of the miasma back from the edge. I will tell you, as you guys are making those rolls, though, it does not appear to weaken the barrier when it moves away. Solid.
Jimmy may have
36.
spotted something.
Maybe.
Snack says that she has Pitch unstrapped and is watching.
Okay. I'm sorry, is it cutting you out again, or are you just having a hard time getting in Snacks?
Yeah, might just be getting talked over, that's all.
Okay. Yeah, well, feel free to be like, hey, I got something to say. Just barrel in. Nobody's going to be mad at you.
I'm gonna crank your volume up so that doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
We definitely want to hear what you have to say.
Okay, yeah, because I don't know if my laptop volume might be different from my regular mic. So if nobody's hearing me, then thanks for letting me know.
Yeah, no worries. I didn't hear you try to say anything, so yeah, just barrel
Got it.
through, yell at us. It's all good.
Okay.
You're at 200% now on my end, and you're still very quiet.
Still pretty quiet.
Okay. I'm just gonna move it, or I'll check my setting.
All good.
My boss.
And tagging us a message like that is great if we're not hearing you. Please, but don't be afraid to.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Uh-huh.
I appreciate that. That was speaking too quietly that moment. So,
Yeah, we always want to know what you got to say. And you got Pitch unstrapped?
and I rolled perception.
Yeah, oh, good. Oh,
nice.
Yes, you did.
Dang.
Yes, you did. Okay, well, I will say this. Genesis, you got a 25. You got something kind of special because of what you're doing and what the abilities that you're using. I will say, let's see, Bryn, Uki, and of course, Jimmy. You notice as the miasma brushes back that what is underneath it are just dozens upon dozens. You can't tell how many, but it looks like there's a lot, and it just keeps going, of desiccated corpses. The thing about them is, in the brief moment you have a look, because of your higher rolls, the brief moment you have a look at them, you immediately recognize that none of them appear to be damaged in any way. In Genesis, as you actually kind of gain a greater, wider grasp of the image that's inside there, you see these desiccated corpses just covering the ground all over, as far as your senses can reach. And you recognize the same thing. There's no damage to any of them. None of them were injured. None of them were hurt. it's like they all just laid down and died. Some of them are even curled up in sleeping positions, like on their sides or on their back.
Seems like an apt time for a listener to make an examination.
Okay. What you got?
Well, he had a suspicion. He didn't see any of that. But he was looking at the miasma and something was standing out to him about it.
Okay.
I would like to make a powers check for him. Is this a spiritual residue of some kind?
Give me an ability check. Let's do it. 21.
21.
Solid. So, the miasma itself is not.
Mm-hmm.
However, the spirits of the dead within, if they're brought to your attention, and you, with your ability check, you'd kind of recognize this through the miasma, like you'd have like a little glow where all these were. The bodies still contain spirits. Every one of them.
Oh, that's most unusual. He takes a moment to tell Genesis about this. Genesis?
Yes.
There are quite a lot of spirits inside, but they seem to not be quite as dead as they probably should. Either that or they've just been trapped in those bodies.
I don't suppose we could try to talk to them, could we? Are they just all sleeping?
I will attempt to check, but this barrier is making it more difficult. And then listener attempts to check.
Okay. What are you checking specifically, just so I know?
If there are spirits in the bodies, either they're dead but trapped, in which case I can communicate with them, or they're alive, in which case I can communicate with them.
Okay. I won't make you roll for this. You reach out with your ability as a spiritualist. Now that you're aware that they're there, and you reach out and you try to contact, just let's say a random one, the closest one, whichever. As you do, it does not respond to you in any way. And if you didn't know better, you'd say the spirit itself was asleep.
This is most unusual, Genesis. They're in some kind of stasis. Not common at all. Even an unaware spirit, a spirit reliving its final moments. Even those are reactive. They're doing something. These, they're just lying there.
So how does one wake a sleeping spirit?
Well, with something shocking, I suppose.
Psychic wet willies.
I will take a small attempt at one. I'm not gonna commit too much to it, just because I don't know what the consequences are.
Okay.
But I will pump a couple of points into an attempt to command wakefulness.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a roll.
$22.
Solid roll. No response.
No response. Oh, in what manner do I feel the energies dissipating? Because I put 3 points into it, which is a reasonable amount of juice.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I pay close attention as it dissipates. Where does it go?
Your energy.
Yes.
Your energy, it doesn't dissipate in any odd way. It just disperses. Like would as a normal reaction. No abnormality to it.
I'll be very specific. Does it feel like it is being disrupted by the barrier, or simply that I have tried to lift too heavy a thing with too little juice?
It just no. It wasn't that you failed. It just did not respond. It was like it could not respond. You felt like
category error then.
Yeah, you felt like you made a connection, and as much as I hate to use the term like a physical connection, but you like reached out spectrally and shook this thing and were like, "Hey, wake up, dude!" And like nothing.
No, that didn't do it at all. Perhaps it is not so much like sleep then. I gave it quite some stimulus, a fair amount of energy, enough at least to command the attention of even a mighty spirit, and nothing. I take a moment, I inform the rest of the assembled group of this also, that there are many quasi-dead or entrapped spirits beneath the fog.
Okay.
Stu would like to try something.
All right, what you got?
With this as context, I want to try to cast something. Based on previous research.
Okay.
Maybe?
Okay.
Yes.
Trying to bring the hound
interesting.
into action.
Very interesting.
Okay, and are you trying to summon this within the dome?
With a 30-foot range, I would try to.
Okay. All right. Do me a favor. Give me a percentile roll, please. Okay. It comes into being. You can see it. You can, obviously.
Right.
However, the moment it comes into being within the dome, it looks around, looks out at you, circles 3 times, and lays down and goes to sleep.
Oh. Oh. I'll have Bryn respond to listener
Okay.
after what he informed the group. Say, so the plant man actually speaks and speaks telepathically.
Yes, I have no capacity to produce noises. Plus, it just seems so inelegant.
Well, I believe this is the first time we have spoken. What do you know of spirits, darling?
Well, as much as I can, I suppose. They're friendly enough to me.
Sometimes.
So you interact with spirits?
Yes. It's not particularly common here. I think I've rubbed off on Wilhelm somewhat. He's picked up the ability recently.
Can I dismiss this now?
Yeah, it's yours to dismiss if you choose to.
Because I can't command it to come back.
It will not respond to any commands, no.
Okay.
I'll let you dismiss it, though.
Okay.
That's rather fascinating. Suppose you and I have something in common then.
Oh, do you work with the dead as well?
So if I were to send anything
Indeed.
in, it would be it would go to sleep.
Indeed, I do.
Can I cast Mage Hand in it? Let me see what this does. That's also a 30-foot range. Looks like.
Do you want to mage hand it?
I feel like I need a source of an ability to move things around in there, but not go in myself, because I would probably go to sleep as well. I think Istu's gonna try to put a hand in there and see what's going on. Maybe tap one of the people on the shoulder, like
Physically.
Perhaps that would wake them because they're not responding to any outside thing from listener.
Yeah, do the same again for me with the D100, please.
33.
It's fine. It's a little shaky. It's definitely a weaker version of the spell, but you're struggling to kind of maintain your control over it, but you do manage to pass it off.
I just need like 4 seconds to tap one of the beings on the shoulder, and then like that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, you push in. You tap one of the inhabitants on the shoulder. No reaction.
Well, perhaps they're not dead at all, then.
Istu, darling, what was it that you were trying to cast earlier?
Let me look at my descriptions here. I don't really know if I want to answer that.
I've hit you guys with a stumper here.
So you saw this cartoonish looking hand tap someone on the shoulder and then kind of disappear. But I think that would be it, besides like a slight stirring of the miasma. Istu kind of looks over at you as like, I don't know, I'm just throwing stuff at the wall and see what sticks, who knows?
Spaghetti theory.
Yeah, I mean...
I saw you try to cast something before what you just did there. I was wondering if you saw any sort of effects. Anything noteworthy that could give us any information?
Well, whatever's in there is making them sleep.
Well, I suppose they're not corpses then, but are put into some sort of eternal slumber. Seems likely.
How would telepathy do there, Church?
What do you mean?
Just regular listener telepathy. It works
that
on
was the
sleeping
command
people.
you just did, though.
No, I used spiritualist for that. On the assumption that they were dead and trapped. If they're just sleeping, I can just kind of shout at them.
Who's to say if they can even hear in there?
Well, they probably can't, but if the telepathy can reach through, maybe I can just force my way into their dreams.
Oh.
Done it before.
So you're...
So, Church, I'd like to do that.
Okay, describe to me exactly, like, the details here, what you're doing.
So, on the assumption that they are alive, technically,
Okay.
but in a forced slumber, I'm going to take the same one that I tried to rouse with the spiritualist powers, and just see if I can kind of nudge my way into their dreams, which I've done in the past using intelligence checks. The sort of forced communication with the telepathy.
I'm gonna try and dreamwalk.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, give me a power check. Let's see. Well, no, this wouldn't be a spiritualist, though, would it?
We did it with int last time. It'd be like an
Yeah.
int save or something.
Yeah, go ahead. We'll do an int check.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Solid.
It's decent.
So you reach out with your telepathic ability, your natural telepathic ability.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of get that same sensation going through that Genesis did, that kind of sticky sense, kind of when you pass through. But you make your way through without issue to the sleeper, and you push in gently and try to access their subconscious and enter into whatever they may be dreaming about. And as you cross that threshold, listener collapses.
Yes. Yes. Progress.
Well,
Oh god.
That's a lot to collapse too. It's a big dude.
I go down. It's like a small tree falling over.
is that gonna hurt? That's not gonna hurt. Can I catch? Can I like?
It might hurt you if you try to catch him.
He's pretty heavy.
If a tree falls in the forest,
I wasn't
or if a tree
like
falls on
near
the
the
mother's head
dome.
moon.
He's as long as he's not gonna like fall on anything.
No, I'm not. He's not going to take any damage or anything.
Okay. Yeah, we'll make sure that the brush is cleared away and stuff, and there's a nice solid landing.
All I can picture is what's that Olympic sport where they use the brushes on the ice?
Oh, curling.
Yeah. As he's falling, Genesis runs up with a brush.
Let's go. I'm not strong enough to catch you, so I mean, I might as well just
Clear the debris.
yeah.
Clear the landing zone. No, it's fine. So yeah, he goes down. Boom.
Man.
No damage, of course, but he's out. Like, listener doesn't sleep. Period.
No.
So, for those of you who know listener, this is like, wait, what?
Why is listener asleep? He doesn't sleep. Not normally, I don't think.
Did any of you hear what he was trying to do? If he was doing anything before this happened?
I don't think
The last comment anybody would have heard would have been Genesis hearing him say, well, perhaps they're not dead after all. Perhaps they're only sleeping. Here, let me try. And then falls over.
We're just gonna keep right on cooking. We're just gonna keep right on cooking with the ideas. We got one more rolling in here. Let's try this one.
Okay. Minor illusion. Okay.
Which I would like to cast
Okay.
within the dome to make a small noise.
Okay. Just a noise in general.
Let me just find a sound here that would wake someone. Let's see.
That would do it. That would do it.
Thank you. Perfect. like a
Yeah, that would do it. That would do it.
just an irritating little hey, listen, coming into your ear, just like an annoying mosquito.
And you're doing this within the dome.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, give me your D100 roll, please.
Oh, 63.
No problem.
So this effect is twofold. It'll tell me if they wake up when they hear a noise, and it'll also tell me if we can hear from within the dome.
So first off, the sound does not. It's not inhibited in any way. You can hear it.
Okay.
No problem. Nothing inside stirs.
What's great fun is that listener had an epiphany about what's happened here the very instant he was struck unconscious.
Classic.
Jimmy is seated upon a rock, some ways back, contemplating.
There's a lot
Life.
of orb pondering going on.
Yeah.
I got this crazy fancy new orb to ponder on. It's pretty cool. And also, it's probably divine trespassing if I even try to cross that barrier, so I'm just gonna sit over here.
They got along all right, didn't they?
They got along fine, but this was kind of like private sanctum. Like, they didn't go to each other's bedrooms, you know, kind of rude.
Jimmy thinks back if that's actually true or not, if like any of the old religion stories had them visiting each other in their conclaves on the Mother's Head.
There's not a lot of stories about the citadels on the Mother's Head at all. That it wasn't like a common knowledge thing. If it was known about at all, it was something that only the greatest of their people, the people who followed them, would have it's like the elite exclusive version of Valhalla, depending on what you followed, you know?
Yes, of course. Yeah, I'll take your word for it.
Okay, I'm gonna try this one more time here.
Alright.
We're gonna try calling the hound again.
Okay.
Outside this time.
Okay.
And we're gonna have a little chat with the thin air if it works.
Okay. Yeah, give me your roll again.
The D100 for it? Yeah, okay.
Yes, please.
Okay. 40.
Okay. No problem.
Okay. So the hound appears. I kind of put a hand on a knee and like do that thing that people do when they're talking to a dog. They're like, "Hello," you know. And Istu's gonna like have a little chat with the hound and be like, "Okay, we're gonna try something here. It might be a little uncomfortable. We've got this barrier we're working on, right? And I want to see if I can get you to go into it. I've been able to place you into it before by calling you to this plane in there, but I want to ask you to walk into it, and if you can get into it, once you fall asleep, just know that I'm going to get you back out, okay? You're going to be all right? And then tell me what you hear, if you hear anything, what you see, if you see anything, and then we'll just go from there."
Okay. It does as you ask. It begins to walk towards the barrier. Upon reaching it, there is a reaction. You see the warble, and Genesis, you see the hound go flying past you.
Genesis sees the hound flying,
Yeah.
not Istu?
Oh, I'm sorry. You had Genesis post the.
Sorry.
Sorry. No, if it's Istu, it's Istu. It's fine. So no, Istu sees the hound go flying with just a. It doesn't take any damage. Comes trotting back and looks at you like confused and a little hurt. You know those sad puppy dog eyes. Like, what'd you do that for?
I give it a pat on the head. I'm sorry about that. You can't really get hurt, but still, the indignity is a lot.
I know, right?
I have a question.
Okay.
And this is probably a no, right? I have to ask, right?
No harm in asking.
If I were to use Arcane Abeyance on a Dimension Door spell to condense the spell into a mote, and then have the hound cast the spell, does that count as me casting it or the hound?
Can you cast spells through the hound? You can?
Well, I don't know. I don't think I can.
Because that's in essence... because you'd have to summon the hound with the mote inside, but you'd have to give it the mote first. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's not gonna work then. We tried.
No, you're thinking. You're thinking. I'm gonna tell you guys right now. Like this is gonna require a big brain moment from somebody, an epiphany. Like
If I speak, I'll feel bad about it because the guy who would know it is currently unconscious.
I have a
sweet irony.
I have another idea I'm gonna try here.
All right.
Genesis looks over at Listener, who has fallen unconscious after trying to communicate with one of these sleeping, resting people. Istu's noticed the dog go in and fall asleep. It seems like anything that tries to penetrate this area to communicate with these people falls into slumber. So, I like to think we're trying to Istu's conveying the effects of what's happening, not really the cause. So if we know these facts, we can kind of put that together and maybe make a guess.
Okay.
So Genesis is gonna try to work with Istu, and they're both each using an ability to try the following.
Okay.
Each person's gonna take one arm of one of the sleeping people, right?
Okay.
And then just pull them towards the barrier.
What are you using to pull them with?
Genesis is using let me just close the roller. Genesis is using kinesis, and Istu is using telekinesis.
Okay. As a spell or
Yep.
Okay. Alright, so just working in tandem, the two of them?
Right.
Alright, give me the spell roll for Istu, please.
100, yeah, okay. 33.
That's enough. You're good.
Okay.
Okay. So, Genesis, give me an ability roll, too. Kerr, please.
Change.
Kerr,
this.
please.
Advanced roller roll. 24.
Solid,
Mhm.
solid. Okay. So you both take hold, one arm each, like you were saying, and begin to drag the body towards the dome. How far are you bringing it?
We're gonna slowly bring it forward until we reach a point where we know that the edge of this dome is. Because last time we came across this recent divine magic, the barrier was one way. We walked into it, the barrier appeared, and then suddenly we couldn't get out.
Mhm.
Now we find ourselves in the opposite situation where we can't get in, and the hope is that this being can get out of it without sustaining any damage. But the question is going to be if this being wishes to remain in this state, and are they going to violently try their hardest to get back into the dome to go back to sleep once we wake them, if this wakes them.
Okay.
So as this person, this sleeping person, completely like ragdolling, just kind of floats towards the barrier.
They have
It's
been
doing
lifted with
Genesis,
the
like-
Gary's Mod gravity gun, yes.
Yes.
Istu and Genesis look at each other like, all right, here we go. And then the being will be pulled across the barrier if possible. They'll try.
Okay. So the moment they come in contact with the barrier, there is a reaction, and they are attempted to be launched back into the dome. The body has been here a long time. It's desiccated. As the force hits it, and the kinesis abilities of both individuals holding the body or holding on to their arms, the body tears away and launches out and just breaks apart into a puddle of gore beneath the miasma, with two arms just kind of floating there, held in telekinetic grips.
We'll put the arms near the puddle of gore.
Whoops.
as respectfully as possible, and look at each other like, why did we think that would go wrong?
So,
Um,
listeners out of it.
Yes.
You've
Saoirse
killed more
covers her
halflings than I
face and
have.
points.
Perhaps a more concerted effort to
Well, real quick,
keep it.
as
Yeah.
that was not a halfling.
Oh, okay.
That was an elf.
Oh, that's not nice at all.
I just want to reiterate how careful we were being. We were being very careful. We were trying our best. And
I will also point out that elves do not sleep.
Mhm. It is highly unusual, because we would know that this sleep is very unusual because, well, Istu would know, because the hounds don't really they're not harmed by anything.
Exactly.
So that's unusual. But then Genesis would also note it because listener doesn't sleep,
Mhm.
and any contact with this stuff seems to invoke that. We can't pull them out because the barrier will bounce them. It's two-way now. Okay. So
Anyone got any ideas on how to wake him? And Bryn points at listener.
I wonder how fast I can cast a spell.
What's that at?
I think you can cast any spell within 6 seconds. Practically by definition.
Fair.
Since Wilhelm's not here, but Wilhelm is here, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I will ask on his behalf. Did the death of this elf leave a spirit?
That's fair. I imagine that's not something he would be opposed to looking into as well.
Yeah, he would just be able to see it, you know? He's got the base level spiritualist side. He can just see them.
So Wilhelm, looking through his spectral vision, will notice that the gore puddle still houses a spirit.
Still in the puddle. Not even a freestanding spirit, still locked in the juice.
That's awful. I really wish I didn't try to do that at all. I'm so sorry.
That's inconvenient. That was my thing. Carry on, please.
I love all these ideas. Keep them coming. This could go evil real quick.
Yeah, this could go bad.
We can see Bryn, right?
Yes.
Hmm.
I'm sitting back there with Az, going like, yeah, I usually just let the casters handle this kind of thing. I'm not particularly helpful.
You know,
Comes this
if you
guy.
want somebody cut into pieces, I'm really good at that.
Man, I feel you. I feel you.
This is that moment of Gandalf trying to get into the minds of Moria.
Quick, speak
I
French.
mean,
What you got, Az? You got an idea brewing, I heard it.
this is a terrible one.
Terrible ideas are our bread and butter around here. What you got?
It's a supremely terrible idea. All right. I'd like to condense the miasma
Okay, how?
artistically.
You want to call on your artistic ability?
Yeah, and then use that to kind of swirl all of the miasma into one thing, and then just kind of crush it down into like a diamond, like a solid. Just get it out of the air.
So you want to create a contracting container, so to speak, that just slowly compresses it all down.
Yeah, like I think it might be like an aerosolized thing.
Okay.
That's
a big one. Let's try it. Give me your artistic ability roll, please.
cool.
Can I help with that, or you know?
As
Can
far-
you?
What do you
Since
want
I
to
can
do?
reach in there and manipulate it, I don't know if I can assist with
Well, tell me how you're going to assist. Are you going to go through Az's mind to assist?
I just want to know if I don't know if Az is even communicating with the rest of the party to try to do. Is he just
That's fair. That's
attempting something on his own, or do you want to? Are you open to dialogue about it? You know, to see if there's a way I can assist with it. You know.
Yeah. Once it kind of starts to coalesce, can you exert an additional bit of pressure
Yes.
in from a multi, like an omnidirectional pressure once it starts to coalesce?
It's not beyond your ability.
Interesting. Yeah, I know Genesis is capable of this, but I kind of wonder if Istu wouldn't be a better fit for that, because at the same time, I mean, I wouldn't know that they have that ability because they haven't done it yet, but I wonder if I could just invert a thunder wave.
Istu?
Right.
So now with Istu, we're getting into actually sculpting the energy of Cairne, like an arcanist would.
Mm-hmm.
Is this too
Quick,
prepared?
make a new character sheet.
Is this too prepared to go there?
I mean, the question would not have occurred to them because the thing is, this conversation between Genesis and Az is happening on a level about their abilities, and then Genesis doesn't know what Istu is capable of. Istu doesn't know that this could help. So we're kind of at a place where narratively it doesn't make sense.
Okay. So who's going to assist? Like
Genesis.
Genesis, okay. Simultaneous, or are you going to wait till Az does his thing first?
I think we. Oh, okay. Snacks. I think I'm gonna try to do it right after he starts. Just like, as he was saying, as he begins to create it, can I create the force? And I think it would be necessary to see where I'm localizing that force.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
So we're gonna kind of
So
tag team it.
yeah, that's fine. Okay, so as you'll begin, give me your ability roll, please. 26. Okay. Plus
Nice.
1.
28, 27.
So, as you begin to kind of coalesce energy, like you feel that connection that you normally would as you begin to siphon energy from somewhere, and those around you begin to see this like shimmering incandescent energy kind of slowly begin to reach out from Az and towards the dome, and then Az goes down, passes out, unconscious.
Damn.
He's asleep.
Damn. Got another one.
As that happens, Genesis, and you were beginning to prep to reach out and assist, what do you want to do? You want to stop and pull back? You want to redirect? You stop? Do a little dance? Make a little love?
Get down tonight, yeah. I have in the moment questions, like Az is reaching and like making physical contact with it, just like listener made sort of cognitive contact. This is really weird.
Elves don't usually sleep.
This is true. It's a little odd.
There's something about that miasma that's causing this, and we really need to contain that. He was starting to, but touching it made him go to sleep.
He never touched it. He did not breach the dome.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey,
But
Ginkgo.
his abilities didn't
Mhm.
like.
Did you also immediately realize what this was the instant that you can no longer interact?
Yep.
Yep. I knew it.
Them big brains falling like dominoes.
Yeah, I feel like I'm missing the joke.
No, it's just that I could feel it in his silence that the same thing happened to him.
Yeah, like my only out of character guess is this is a fucking orphan, but like there ain't no way Saoirse and Bryn would know that
I'm gonna.
if it's even that.
I don't.
What you got? Give to
And
me.
I'm going to stop. I think obviously, ultimately, I'm going to stop.
All right, so Genesis puts the brakes on, screeches the wheels.
Yes.
All right. So you never even really fully reach out. You just kind of were prepping to. But yeah, now Az is down, listeners down.
Jimmy strolls up and he starts moving them further away from the dome. Yeah, better get a pile going.
Laying them out in a line.
I tried to wake them up, but I don't want to go down myself.
Yeah, it does seem like it might be spreading.
I could maybe try to wake them up.
What do you want to do?
So, Saoirse is going to try to play a song of wakefulness, and let's put an airworm on these two.
A song of wakefulness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something energetic, something to try and like rouse them, wake them up.
Okay.
Directly onto listener and as, so Saoirse's not interacting directly with whatever the fuck is going on in there, just so we're clear.
Okay. Well, I will say this. You will try, and you'll make an amazing effort, but it will not rouse them.
Oh.
It was a good attempt. It was a good attempt, but no, it won't rouse them. Listener probably most of all, because he really doesn't hear sound quite the same as people anyway.
It probably comes to him as vibrations, so I mean.
So sad. So sad.
Would anyone else like to try anything?
The bodies in here are desiccated.
They've been there a long time.
Are they dead or just...
Well, nobody's really officially checked. And it would be hard because you can't physically touch them. And their spirits are in the bodies. But there's a spirit inside the corpse puddle, too. Sorry, that was really a terrible term to use, but you get the idea. I'm not sure where that one came from. You get the idea. So if Wilhelm could get a clear view of one long enough, maybe he could assess, just
Livelihood.
are they alive or not?
I will pilot Wilhelm long enough to do this. He's gonna ask
Okay.
Genesis for a hand with this. He's seen her shifting the miasma around.
Okay. No problem. Genesis, are you down?
To help with what? What are we doing?
Do you think you could, move some of the miasma aside, just long enough for me to look at one of them? I feel like it's very important to know whether they're dead or not.
Yeah, if I was able to do that before, I will do it again.
Okay. Well, here, I'll save you guys some trouble. I won't even make you roll on this one. Well, just to keep it simple. Because if Wilhelm can't tell if someone's alive or dead, then...
What's the point of the class?
I know, right? So yeah, you'll push the miasma aside long enough for him to get a good look at a few of them. And I'll say that each and every one of them is long expired. There's no way they're alive. They're not breathing. They obviously haven't eaten in who knows how long, or had water or anything like that. Even an elf will starve or, thirst to death after a while.
Were all the visible ones elves?
No, there's elves, humans, dwarves.
No halflings?
There's halflings.
Okay, there are some halflings.
Oh yeah. Gnomes, like some you don't even recognize. There's all kinds of bodies under there.
All right. Are they like thickly coating the ground?
Not thickly, no.
how about consistently? He's going to try to make an estimate. If they're coating the ground as much as is visible here throughout the conclave, how many people would there be? Like a tremendous number?
A few hundred.
Few hundred? Okay, that's not so bad.
What it looks like, based on like where the spiritual energy is that you can see, and this is like a collective of information. Based upon the spiritual energy you can see, the psychic contact that you've made, and the miasma being pushed around and whatnot, it looks like there was a small settlement here centered around that central building in the middle. And at some point, everybody just stopped their day-to-day business, laid down, and went to sleep and never woke up again.
Yep.
So,
I'm going to give Wilhelm the epiphany.
All right, I don't mind.
It may not even be correct, but I just want to voice it. This one is different. This is not like the barriers that happened before.
yeah.
This one's been here probably the whole time. This isn't about trapping somebody inside. This was an attempt at preservation. And it just went on for so long, there was no possibility that they would survive. I think maybe Sinufe tried to put her people on ice before she left, and she just didn't make it back.
Oh, I figured that one out.
Well, you should have said. Would have saved me the trouble.
I didn't know that's what you were alluding to.
Yeah.
So, I've got two of you.
Yes. This has been incredibly successful from your end so far.
Let's keep going. I want to see how many more I can get.
Wilhelm peers through the dome and continues to think aloud.
Mhm.
But what does that say about us now? What should we do to dissipate this if it was supposed to preserve the people inside?
It's really interesting that as soon as listener reaches in, he falls unconscious. As soon as Az reaches in, he falls unconscious. Nothing happens to Genesis.
No, but
when
Genesis.
she...
No, I shouldn't say anything, but I'll say this: Genesis's interaction was different. So I'll leave that as a hint.
So the question is, what am I doing? What am I
It's
not doing
different. Exactly.
that they're doing?
Yep.
I've tried to reach in and grab things, hold them, move them around.
Mm-hmm.
They've tried to grab things and shape them into things, or grab people and talk to them.
They've tried to wake the sleepers.
The effort is in the changing.
Well, here, let me help a little.
I'm getting there. I don't know.
No, you guys are doing fine. You're doing fine.
I think Bran would like to say something in character.
Of course. What you got?
I would really.
You know,
I was gonna say.
No, it's all right. Let's hear. Let's hear.
you know, it could be that this plant here was. He's also a spiritualist, so if the miasma is acting as a preservative, then it could be that our plant man here tried to interact with the spirits within, and he was able to interact with the energy as well. And it looked like that is what our elf here was doing as well whenever, I suppose, he tried to manipulate it.
We'll see.
What I could see.
Sorry, go ahead. I was gonna say I will say, Az never touched the miasma. He never breached the dome. He started to channel energy and went out. Listener did something very different from what Genesis has been doing.
Yes.
Very different.
Genesis has just been moving things around. Like, there's not been any effort to talk to these people.
Mm-hmm.
Out of character, they've all been interacting with dreams.
It's a fair assessment.
So,
Assuming
I've
that
been
as
touching the
Pulpy-
things that actually exist. Like,
Brains are working. I can smell the burning.
Is there some way we can establish an indirect connection? Can we show their minds on a scrying mirror instead of trying to connect to them directly?
I mean, Genesis could look into them.
That's direct. That's not going to go super well.
It is pretty direct.
My methods are more direct as well.
I think both the Istus sort of moved to stand between Genesis and the rest of the party, and they like start like just throwing pebbles at the dome to see what happens to it.
They shoot back.
Okay, yeah, we're just going. Istus will keep that up, and behind them, Genesis wants to look at the clock again.
Okay. You want to look at the clock again? Is this a secretive glance into your bag? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
When did you even get a clock? You don't have to answer that. I just don't remember.
You wouldn't.
Yeah, that's the point.
No, it was when things were apart.
When stuff was popping off is when it happened.
Yeah, that was the point. Yeah.
So I'm gonna. You guys continue to talk, and I will send you what you witness in a secret message. I'm gonna mute while I do it, so you can't hear my clackety clacks.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, we're almost there. I wonder what Cinder thinks of this whole thing.
I wonder this also.
Let's see what his character sheet says. I didn't import him. Dang it. Alright, let's see. Let's see here. Andrew. Those are all correct. I just had an idea. I don't know if that's gonna work though.
There you go. That should be a good one.
Concerning.
I'll let you make of that what you will.
Oh, the orphan's fine. The orphan is our friend.
The orphan has dominion over the realm of dreams, and we've been meeting with all of the secret powers in each citadel so far. Listener tried to get into their dreams and fell asleep. Az manipulated some sort of power, not even breaching the barrier that, from the description of the energy he was manipulating, like, really sounds like, the power of dreams, and went to sleep.
So,
And as an out of character guess, that's solid logic. So,
I want to look at the mirror while I have this moment.
Okay.
I'm of the opinion that letting them interact with this was a mistake in itself. So I'd love to see if the mirror shows me anything that confirms that theory. Plus, it's been a while since I looked at it, and the palms of my hands are aching just a little bit.
All right, so trying to shift the image.
I just want to look a little bit. I just want to look. There is that always that wish to look at the mirror, right? And now it seems like a great time to remind myself of that mistake.
Yeah. All right, so let me see 1 second here. All right, so this. Bear with me a second. I have this for you here. Nice one. I didn't expect this, but it won't throw anything off. This will actually play right into my plan. I mean, work perfectly. Hi, Ed and Linda. Everybody say hi.
Oh, shout out to Ed and Linda.
Yeah, Ed and Linda, our new
Let's
biggest
go.
fans.
So, Church, I have to ask:
Go ahead.
is listener dreaming?
I will get to that in a moment. Well, hello again, Linda. So, Master.
Right.
You see this flash before you, almost as if you were looking through a camera. This stepped in front of the camera, like really quickly, enough to kind of like startle you. And then Genesis falls asleep.
Good. Okay. Great. I'm not dreaming, right?
I will get to that in a moment.
Okay.
3 down.
Into the line with you.
Genesis goes down.
So the three of them are lined up. Jimmy just kind of... He takes a spot on the other side of Az, and he puts his hat over his head, and he starts trying to fall asleep.
Is to.
I'm going to do it the easy way.
Are you
Is
going to
to
sleep?
make
Oh,
is
sorry.
to
Strong.
make sure that Genesis's pack is closed.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
And Istu Segundus takes a seat next to her
Okay.
and also tries what Jimmy's trying, to consciously go to sleep.
All right. So Istu and Jimmy are trying to go to sleep manually.
Right.
Okay. You won't have any issue. You'll go to sleep. Which leaves Istu Prime, Saoirse, Ghost, Wilhelm, and Uki.
Bryn's going to walk over to Jimmy and try and shake him awake.
Does Istu Segundus see anything when they attempt to sleep?
They'll go to sleep. I'll get to what you see in a minute, though.
Okay. I was sorry. I was hoping that the manual attempt was different than the.
No, you're good.
Okay. Okay.
Jimmy. How fast does Jimmy go to sleep?
Oh, he hasn't actually slept in literal years. He didn't have to sleep when he was partly dead.
All right.
We took a long rest somewhere.
Well,
before we met up with the Cairne party.
I will say this: if Bryn immediately walks over and starts shaking him, it'll be before he manages to go to sleep. It takes a second, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, you weren't asleep yet.
What?
Why are you trying to go to sleep like them? You may be asleep permanently.
Ah, come on.
Come on.
I got a hunch.
What, do you think there's a power like the ones that we met at some of the other citadels that has control over the realm of dreams or something?
Oh, maybe. That's not really the direction of the hunch. The direction of the hunch is just... there's a problem to solve and it's not up here in the waking world. Come on. Grab a patch of bone dust. Jimmy starts pulling his hat back down.
God damn it. Bryn will cuddle up with him.
Okay. So the two of you drift off into Never Never Land, the land of Nod.
Spooning.
Which leaves Is2 Prime, Wilhelm, and Uki.
Wilhelm says,
And Cinder, right?
And
Cinder, I'm sorry.
I don't know if all of us should sleep. Exactly.
Okay. It's up to you guys. If you want to leave it at this and like set guards with the rest, say the word.
I think Is2 Prime and Cinder will be inclined to remain awake if possible and avoid interacting with this dome wherever you've established the border, and just to make sure nothing, crawls out of the darkness around us, and vagabonds don't come upon our bodies outside this dome of protection and make off with us,
Looks like Snacks is issuing a verdict for Uki.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Uki's staying up.
Uki's staying up, okay. Okay.
Yeah, Saoirse's going to stay up too. She's going to sit beside Bryn and Jimmy.
All right. So let's keep in mind that we have... Actually, let me write this down in my little secret notebook here. Did my kids steal my pen again? They did. All right, here we go. So, we've got Saoirse, Is2 Prime, right?
Right.
Not necessarily the first and foremost, but the one we call Prime.
Right.
Wilhelm staying or going?
Wilhelm would stay awake. He would keep everybody under medical observation.
Okay.
Induced comas can be very dangerous, actually.
And Uki and Cinder. We got a good split of the party here, don't we?
Split the
No.
party. Split the party.
Yeah.
No.
We are splitting the party across realms, technically.
A good split of the party, he says.
It'll
No.
be fine.
It is. I
No.
think it's actually pretty much. We've got, what, 10 characters? I think that's a 5 and 5 split. This is great.
Oh my god.
The party could get a lot smaller, right? Okay. So, are we ready? Are we
Yeah.
prepared?
Can I just hang on?
Should we take
Listener,
our union
Jimmy,
break?
and who else is asleep now?
Bryn.
As?
So it's Bryn, Is2 Secundus, Genesis, Jimmy, Listener, and Az.
And as. Yep, so we've got slightly more.
Yeah. 6 and 5. I guess it's 11. Unless my math is terrible, which is very possible.
Genesis, Is2, Bryn, As, Jimmy, Listener, 6.
Hmm.
Yeah, 1 out of 2 is chooses asleep.
1 out of Is2's ain't bad. 1 out of 2 Is2's ain't bad at all. All right.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Ginkgo has raised an
Yes.
excellent point
Yes.
that we should. Oh,
No,
you
wait,
want to see
no.
the translation?
No. Yeah. Just you know what happened.
Hit us with the
Jesus
map. Hit us
Christ.
with the map.
That's fine. Do I
We
have
can
a
see a
map?
map. Come on, hit
Do I
us.
have a map? I don't know if I made a map yet.
I'm pretty sure you have a map.
I'm just messing with you. So first off, here's the thing. The 6 of you stand up almost simultaneously in a weird way that, it's kind of like, oh, okay. You kind of start sitting up and waking up simultaneously, all 6 of you alone. The other 5 people are missing. You're still standing outside the dome. It does not appear as though anything has changed. Oop. Moving my notes in the wrong window. That's dangerous. So, as you look around the desolate expanse of the Mother's Head, the normal landscape you would expect unfolds around you, just like the normal, mysterious tapestry of dust and light, which causes gentle distortions. You've grown used to this. The terrain around you is as vast an expanse of dust-choked plains as you remember, and the ground beneath your feet yields only to the soft crunch of the particles beneath your boots. The air is heavy, dry, carries the faint scent of ancient decay, and in the distance the horizon seems to shimmer and sway, a mirage-like distortion that kind of plays tricks on your eyes as the distant mountains and craters rise in the distance, their peaks obscured by a haze of dust and shadow. Yet, as you look closer, their forms seem to shift and contort, the slopes appearing to undulate, slowly at first, like the surface of a restless sea. And above you, the sky is a canvas of slowly shifting colors, streaked with hues of crimson and indigo that seem to kind of dance and swirl with an ethereal grace. Flecks of starlight twinkle in the darkness, their distant glow casting a surreal ambiance along the desperate landscape below. And amidst the barren plains, strange anomalies begin to emerge, subtle yet unmistakable in their strangeness. Trees stand up as distant sentinels along the horizon, their twisted branches reaching towards the heaven like gnarled fingers grasping for salvation. Some of them appear distorted, their forms contorted into grotesque shapes that seem to pulse and writhe with an unseen energy that oddly matches the rhythm of your own heartbeats, those of you that have them. In the distance, you catch sight of what must be floating islands, drifting lazily across the sky, their rocky surfaces adorned with crumbling remnants of ancient citadels and forgotten temples, and these islands that seem to hover in the air with this strange grace. Their presence just defies the laws of all nature and reason, making you question everything around you. And as you look onward, these subtle changes in the landscape continue to unfold around you, each shift in perception adding to the sense of unreality that permeates the air. And it is only as you realize that you've been walking this whole time, and that the trees have grown around you, that you realize that you are nearing the edge of a shimmering golden lake that is the full extent of the Mother's Head as far as you can see. And the surreal nature of your surroundings becomes even more clear, and you realize with a start that you have indeed entered the realm where dreams and reality intertwine, where the laws of physics are but mere suggestions, and where nothing is as it seems.
Yeah, this seems like a sort of dream realm.
Sure.
Whatever being awaits us, show yourself.
Yes.
That's kind of rude.
Are we in possession of our normal faculties, or are we also feeling as if we are in a dream?
What would that feel like?
Well, when you're dreaming, you don't tend to notice the strangeness of dream logic. You're taken over by,
Is this
bizarre ideas as if they're the most normal thing on earth.
well? For instance, you didn't realize you were walking until you realized you were walking,
Yes.
and the distance that you got closed was you couldn't remember. It doesn't make logical sense in that regard. And suddenly you're in the middle of a forest at the edge of a lake.
Do we recognize this as strange?
A
We know
little.
we're dreaming, but are we approaching this with the mind of a dreamer or the mind of a waking person?
A little bit of both, especially in Jimmy's case, because Jimmy is familiar with the concept of dreams. Listener, on the other hand, this is a little weird.
Yeah, that's not normally what's going on here.
Yeah, this isn't how these things work.
That's perfect. Jimmy is like he's dreaming. Listener is just like he's completely awake. He's never done this a day in his life.
So I will say, as you near the edge of this golden lake, drifting lazily across the surface of the lake, and at first you don't even notice it because it feels natural, until retrospectively you kind of double take and realize that this is not at all normal. But to your amazement, you see elephants drifting over the surface of the lake with large wings that appear to be made out of canvas.
Ah.
It was foretold by the prophecies. Genesis looks at the elephants and then sort of looks into the middle distance and is like,
Now that looks fun.
Yes, certainly we're supposed to ride those.
Imagine
Like a-
yourself riding the elephant with canvas wings.
I would like to ask you a question. I would like to ask you a question.
Yes. Nope. One of these questions, a super secret question.
I would like to imagine myself riding an elephant with wings
God.
right now.
Right, yeah, okay.
Okay. You're imagining yourself riding one of these creatures.
Yeah, lucid dreaming. Let's go.
As you as you imagine this in your mind, the elephants stop. And it's like everything around you stops. It's like a time just halts. It's a freeze frame.
Let's go.
And then very slowly, all the elephants turn and look at you as, with this accusing tone in their eyes that for some reason you understand, even though you're like, I don't even know if I've ever seen one of these before. And then slowly things begin to move again.
As the elephants are looking at you.
Oh, you saw that too?
Yes, they're also flying, which I consider to be very unusual. But the looking was maybe more concerning.
Perhaps it was a moment of hubris to think that these flying elephants could be beasts of burden and saddled. What even are they? I mean, imagine you arrive in a new realm and see a being and like, yeah, I'd like to slap a saddle on that, you know?
Well, they're moving towards you now.
Oh, hi.
Not in any particular hurry. Just drifting lazily, flapping those big canvas wings.
Mhm.
What would you guys like to do?
Just marbling at the wings themselves and like looking around.
Wait patiently for elephant.
Okay. So, oddly, as they get closer, it's like their perspective doesn't. And by the time they reach the shore, closer to where you are, you realize they're only about the size of your hand. And they land and sit and look up at you questioningly.
I apologize, tiny elephant. From afar, you looked large enough to ride.
Well, you're just gonna have to get smaller, aren't you?
That's a good idea.
Jimmy attempts to become small.
Okay.
Rin's going to kneel down and let one of the elephants walk into her hands because she thinks they're cute.
So, as you guys are all three kind of doing this, you hear this very soft little voice from nearby in the bushes say, "Oh, no, I wouldn't do that if I were you. No, 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 no. That would be a very bad idea indeed. Very, very bad. Yes, yes, yes. I would not do that if I were you. Nope."
Oh, good, a
Towards
local.
the voice below.
So, standing in the bushes, you see this little group staring at you.
Oh, I've read Watership Down.
It's a few rabbits, a squirrel, and two birds, all wearing clothes. The birds are actually wearing little hats, if you can see.
Yes.
And it was the squirrel who said that, and they're both they're all tutting at you, like just shaking their head. No, wouldn't do that. No, that'd be a very bad idea. Yeah.
Or is it considered rude? I'm supposed to stay my own size.
Why would you want to pick one of those up anyway?
I wasn't going to pick them up. I was going to get smaller so I could walk around.
If
with
you
them.
got smaller, you'd get stepped on by one of the Dream Tusk Flyers.
Oh, you're right. I didn't even think about it.
I don't even know what these sodding things are. I just thought they were rather cute. I was going to let one walk into my hands.
Bren, as you look down where the elephants were, there's 3 huge centipedes down there. One of them's moving towards your hand.
Oh, she's going to jump backwards at that.
See, I told you wouldn't want to do that. No, no, no. That'd be a very bad idea. And
Maybe it's better to be this size.
as you look out, you see the elephants in the distance over the water, seemingly huge again, just drifting lazily over the water's surface.
I look at the elephants. I look at the centipedes. The centipede's still there.
They're wandering off. They've lost interest in you now.
It's very rude to pretend to be elephants. You're not supposed to do that.
Who's an elephant? What a rude thing to say.
Well, they're not actually.
Who?
He gestures at the centipedes.
Nobody
But
said
they were
that.
pretending, and I considered it impolite.
You're not from around here, are you?
Closer than you might think.
Oh, she's going to have a field day with you.
She. Who are you talking about?
The most wonderful person in all the universe.
Alright.
Genesis looks towards them with a mounting sense of dread. Waits for them to identify who they're talking about.
They don't.
What name does this person go by?
She has 1,000 names.
Oh no.
I think there might be more than that, but that's as high as I've ever heard someone count.
That's never good.
That's adorable. They don't know any big numbers.
No. As.
Any names that are particularly common?
There's nothing common about the lady.
Oh no.
There's something common about myself either.
Why don't you scurry off and go say hello? It'd be terribly rude for you to traipse around and here without at least saying hello.
Well, where might we find her?
Didn't you see the path?
Have we been walking this whole time?
You're not where you started.
Hmm.
In fact, every time you turn around, it feels like you're in a different place.
How's that path looking?
Hmm.
Are you gonna look
I
around?
love this place.
All right. Well, you look around. No, not that one. Yes, no, that is that one. The path leads into the darkened wood, lined by strange fireflies that swarm and dance and twirl about, as if cavorting to some music that you just can't hear. But then again, maybe you can, just at the edge of your senses. This lilting little melody that comes and goes and can't quite put your finger on every time you try to focus on it.
Genesis remembers something and looks down the path, but keeps her eyes below waist level, like low, like just at the ground and the surrounding terrain. She stopped looking up completely. If anything, I'd probably really consider closing my eyes at this point. Like, I don't know.
You gonna go to sleep in a dream?
No, we're walking, so I just.
Genesis, are you closing your eyes?
I'm quite afraid to. Because I think I know what's gonna happen here.
It's your call.
Genesis looks at the fireflies on the ground and then looks towards Az and is like, I don't know if we should keep going down this path or not.
When he's ambling directly forward.
Trespassing on someone's domain, we should at least stop in and say hello. It's only polite.
I think I know a way to say hello faster. But I'm scared to. Genesis will reach out and grab Az's hand if possible.
Unless he tries to stop you.
As long as he's okay with that.
Okay.
I'm gonna close my eyes. If I disappear, you'll know where I went. And then she closes her eyes.
Okay. You close your eyes,
Nothing happens.
and the weirdest thing happens.
Oh no.
You can still see.
Hmm.
It's like you have translucent eyelids. Weirdest thing.
That sounds about right.
Hmm.
I mean, do you remember ever closing your eyes in a dream? Unless you're right about to wake up.
I wanna just lower the slider on the brightness of the cones in my eyes, and just make it a little murky. Give myself intentional blindness for a moment. Like, just turn it down a little. I mean, I'm not normal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I should be able to kind of. The thing is, out of character.
Mm-hmm.
It showed me my mistakes. This is a mistake. Never look her in the eyes. Ever. Ever. Why would you?
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna take some precautions and put in some countermeasures to make sure that never happens. Right?
So you just want to redirect your gaze.
Turn down the eyes out of respect, right?
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
And
So
by the way, you all realize that you're already moving down the path.
Mm.
This
for
is
sure.
not optional. We have to go this way. We're going because we're going.
Well, I mean, you're welcome to turn around and try and go the other way.
We'll have to actively fight against it, but the natural flow of things, of time and space, is taking us down the path.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the natural flow of the sequence of events took me to what the clock showed me before.
Mm-hmm. And you begin to make your way down the path, and time just goes out the window. Like, before you've taken 4 or 5 steps, you're like, was that 4 or 5 or 4 or 500? Has it been an hour, a day, a year? And you start questioning these things, and it's little things like, when was the last time I breathed? And you're just not sure. And it's a little disorienting, and some of you probably have little minor panic attacks even here and there. Like, is my heart beating? Am I breathing? What? Did I just pee myself? What's going on? And each of you begins to kind of, as you move through these very dark woods, with the tree canopy kind of hanging over it, the only real light around you is the fireflies dancing all around you. And the fireflies swirl, sometimes into shapes, sometimes you see them almost form faces, and you hear sounds echoing out throughout the forest, strange, unusual sounds. Like, Bryn, you could swear you hear the market in Sigil, somewhere out in the trees. You can hear it, clear as day, like it's just there. And Genesis, you heard a baby coo out in the woods. And,
No.
No.
And then
Nope.
and then the busy Ventrite tent settlements. You can hear people laughing and cavorting and playing music. And Istu?
Yep.
Istu's having a field day with the sounds. Taking you back to home. The last place you were really comfortable and felt like you fit in. Jimmy, you hear the creaking of the whispering gale somewhere off in the woods. Those boards creaking, and you can almost feel the wind in your hair trying to blow your hat off. Feel the weight of Black Jammer by your side, and oh, it really would be good right now to be doing some piracy.
It would, but there's something else in Jimmy's mind also.
What's that?
Very specific images. He's walking along. He says, "You know, the last time I did this, the walk was a lot shorter and more dangerous."
It's true.
He is very much remembering that first jaunt through the blackened woods of Cairne to meet the angler.
That was a Shadowfell.
Yeah.
It was, but it looked like Cairne.
Yeah. That's fair.
Just like this is not Cairne, but it looks like it.
And listener?
Yeah, what is Listener doing?
Listener is marveling that the earth and the minerals that he's pulling in by walking, oh, they feel just like home. It's like he's back on the archipelago. He can taste it through his feet. And as
Genesis.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Go.
I was just gonna say, Genesis grabs Istu's hand and is like, if you see her, avert your eyes. You know what I mean when it's time for you to know what that means.
Perfect. And as
Hmm.
you see glimpses in the wood every now and then, faces that you remember, the champions that you trained, the champions you trained with and under, occasionally maybe even the queen, old friends. You can smell the verdant grove of Shah on the breeze that blows across you from time to time. Once again, time shifts, changes. You're never really entirely sure. But the images slowly take a slightly darker turn. As a small fog comes up along the path, and you look out, and on either side of the path, you see these strange, flowing figures just drifting there, not moving, not advancing, not making any sound, but you get the feeling that they are indeed watching you, and it's very unnerving. Anybody doing anything different, or?
I observe them directly back. Is there anything under those hoods?
No.
I'll make a perception check.
No. Nope. It's like they're empty or filled with something that you cannot see.
What happens if Genesis physically puts a hand? Actually, it'll be Istu. Because I think at that point, after trying to avert their eyes, they would notice that their eyelids are not solid, and then attempt to make some measure to kind of shield their vision in spots. Like, just, is that possible?
You can try, yeah.
My hands are solid, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that works. Okay, cool.
Okay, so you're trying to cover your eyes with your hands.
I think Istu is just gonna kind of keep their eyes lower than usual. In the same vein as Genesis is doing, but without the extra measure of being capable of messing with their eyes in that way.
Okay. Alright. Is anyone doing anything different regarding moving up or down the path, or trying to interact with these shades in the woods?
Blithely continue.
Okay.
Yeah, Bryn's just walking forward, and she deliberately chooses to ignore them.
Okay. They make no moves towards you. But as you look on the path ahead, it's almost like this huge clump of trees. Vines, leaves, turns and looks at you.
Oh my.
You hear the branches crackling and twisting and groaning as this, what you assume is a huge head, turns and looks at you with what you thought were fireflies in the distance, but now you think may actually be a pair of softly glowing eyes watching you as you move closer.
Bryn shrugs and keeps walking. This feels like some sort of, like, fey creature to her. So,
Okay.
even though it's most likely not, it feels like it to her, so she's not concerned.
You guys gonna continue to walk towards it?
So it's
Is it
blocking
in
the path.
or along the side?
It's on the
Path
side.
was to it.
It goes past it. It's like leaning over the path, watching you as you approach.
Bryn will look up at it and give, like, you know, a slight nod as they pass, but I mean, she'll continue to walk forward on the path.
Bryn, you acknowledge it.
Yeah.
You hear, "Who are you?"
Is that directly to me or to, like, everyone at the party?
You nodded at it. Its gaze locked in at you, and it spoke.
Just a traveler here to visit the lady of this place. That is all.
This is a long name.
You may call me Ghost.
That's all. It doesn't say anything else.
Okay, she keeps walking.
All right. Anybody else doing anything?
Listener tries to categorize it as plant or meat, as is his wont.
He's having a hard time with this one. He can't sense meat. Well, I mean, granted, he can't sense meat, but it's not a plant. It's looks like a plant, moves like meat.
This is a terribly silly place.
Off to Camelot.
I suspect most of this is entirely insubstantial.
Are you guys gonna continue on? Try to
Yeah,
move
that wouldn't
past
stop
it?
him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. It does not stop you. At the end of the path, where the fog gets deep and dark, you see one more strange figure standing in the path. It does not appear to be paying attention to you, but it is immediately standing in the path.
Roughly the height of a person, I assume.
Yeah, it's slightly taller, maybe.
We're just gonna continue
Wave
to
at
roll
it.
our eyes and look away.
I'll wave at it. Hello.
You wave at it as?
Yeah.
Okay. It slowly turns its head as and locks eyes with you. And you feel like a familiar connection in the gaze. Something that makes you uncomfortable.
Be careful, big man.
I had goosebumps. I mean, no disrespect.
Interesting.
Traveling through to pay our respects to the lady of this land.
In perfect Galduinian, you hear, "Asd, where were you?"
Oh, shoot. Kinda preoccupied.
Are they the only people who hear the voice? Do we all hear that, or is it just
No, you
to
all
them?
hear it. Everybody hears this.
Okay. Interesting. Who are you? Where were you?
She struck me down as
I should know this voice, probably.
it's a little
Str-
distorted, but yeah, it's really familiar.
Who struck you down?
Our progeny.
Or no, what? I'm not following.
Malindor.
I just saw her the other day. Earlier today? Yesterday? She's not doing so good. She serves a new master now.
She served a new master then. She struck me down as
Brother?
at the Queen's command. Summer is no more.
Oh shit.
I thought you loved us, as
I do.
we needed you.
I think our mother had bigger plans for me.
Is that what you believe?
I mean, for me to be taken off the table for so long and now be here at the moment of change, I think speaks to a higher play.
How little you understand, brother.
Yikes. But maybe I can still save you.
I cannot be saved.
I mean, you know, it's okay. I got the thing. I got Lyranath. We'll just put your essence into it like we would have done with the tree and save your soul. We can put you back into a new body once I've fixed everything.
So that head still hasn't looked at you really fully. The whole body just turns. And you just see it begin to kind of like break apart into these tiny little black fragments that twist into ash or leaves, little bits of wood, and kind of carry off into the breeze, piece by piece, more and more and more. And all the while this is happening, he keeps repeating in Galdwinian, "We cannot be saved. We cannot be saved. We cannot be saved," over and over again as he slowly disintegrates before your eyes.
I will revenge you, brother.
Alright. So he slowly dissipates, and you just, even once that last shred departs, you hear that one final time, "We cannot be saved." And then it just goes quiet.
Well, that was certainly dramatic.
It was important. It was important. You did well. You always have to face your ghosts in the woods.
That's a good way of looking at it. All right, so you guys want to stay here, or keep moving, or what do you want to do?
Keep
Gotta
moving.
keep going,
moving.
man.
As you with them?
Yep, forward is the only way.
Okay. All right. So the path breaks ahead, not long after this encounter, and the mist slightly dissipates around you, revealing before you something slightly whimsical, even. But it opens into a clearing, at the center of which is a very large tree, with a strange winding staircase going around it, and what appears to be a home built directly into the tree, surrounded, as everything else, with those golden fireflies.
I'm too good at this, I swear to fuck.
Orphan time. Orphan time.
That's a cool treehouse. Too bad I'll never see the whole thing, because I'm not looking.
Genesis, you seem slightly more disturbed than is called for by this.
She walked into the frame. Listener. She walked into it. I wasn't looking at her, but she walked over and was like, hey. No.
Perhaps I do understand your precaution. Unfortunately, I have no eyes to avert.
Yep, well, here we are.
So what would you like to do from here?
Believe knocking is the polite thing.
Going up the stairs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go up the stairs too.
So time seems to warble and shift around you as you travel up the stairs. Sometimes they creak, sometimes it feels like you've been working.
There are way
so
more stairs
hard.
than I thought there were.
Yeah, but at other times you look down and it's like, I didn't realize
How
this
are
tree
we
was
only
that
5
high.
feet off the ground?
Sometimes it's like 500. And you're like, whoa. It just depends. And you're each looking at different things, you feel like. And then the fireflies are spinning around you. And sometimes they're not fireflies at all. Sometimes they're sparks. And sometimes they're tiny little tears in the fabric of your reality. Some sort of light shining through. And others, it's just the lights from the windows on the porch as you stand before the door. And you wonder, how long have I been here? And then you realize the door's open. Welcomingly, invitingly. There's a warmth inside, a sense of comfort. Would you enter?
But of course.
Yep.
Everybody going in?
Yeah, tea and
Yes.
crackers, right?
So, like, since Genesis is holding Az's hand, Az goes first, then Genesis, then Istu, in like a little diagonal sort of thing, because they have no other choice.
A little chain.
Yeah, it's just a little procession of people that two of which are not actually even actively trying to look at things around them. Like,
Well, let's change the map. Feel free to, as you, I will say, as you enter, and I know Istu is not on there. I probably need to remove Saoirse, Wilhelm, and Uki stayed behind. So yeah, go ahead and bring out an IS2 for me.
Just minimizing all the pictures here. And Dream Tusk Fire is over there. Okay. And then figure this out here. Just do. How do I
I'll just drag from the character sheet directly on. I can if you want me to.
just
If it's
I
giving
had
you
it
a hard
open in
time.
a different
I know there's
had
a
it
lot.
popped out.
There's a lot going on. I know.
You know,
Here.
it's funny. This is one of those rare few instances where an AI-generated map works to our benefit.
I did drag it out, but I don't. Okay, yeah.
Oh,
The
big.
size is
history.
wrong.
Hey, considering where you are, it's probably not that weird.
I can't control that.
Can you not? Let's fix that right away. Is 2. Boom.
Okay, yep.
There you
Yep.
go. I'm gonna make sure IS2 has sight too, real quick.
We're not gonna need it. I mean,
The dynamic lighting is turned on. So-
we're both looking away.
So you enter in, and despite the fact you all kind of filtered in the same door, you're not standing in the same place you should be. However, inside is this kind of ramshackle, piecemeal, put together structure built around the tree itself, filled with bookshelves lined with books and trinkets and gadgets and strange wonders that catch your eye and then lose your attention just as fast. There's old carpets and rugs thrown here and there and all around. Lightning bugs and fireflies light the room up with a soft glow, aside from a very small fireplace, kind of in the middle of the room. On the far side of the room is a large, half-broken, kind of lopsided chair. Sitting in it, cross-legged, wearing a large paint-smeared smock that 3 sizes too big for her, is this gentle-eyed woman with short-cropped hair, wide eyes, looking around at each of you eagerly with a big smile. She claps her hands. I'm so excited that you're here.
Yep. Bryn glances over at Jimmy and raises an eyebrow.
He shrugs. After my time, I guess. Hello.
Hello. Jimmy as Genesis. Give me a minute. Listener.
I was wondering if you would know me.
I don't know the two of you. She points at Bryn and Istu. I love meeting new people, though. Who are you?
No one. I'm sober. It's fine. Yeah. Hi. Not looking.
What are you so afraid of? I can smell it from here. There's no need for that. You're safe with me.
It's time for the vibe check.
The vibe check.
The vibe. I'd like to make an insight.
Istu has no sense of what's going on at all. All they know is what they've been warned of from Genesis. So they kind of look towards Genesis and squeeze their hand, like, what do we do here? Is it dangerous to be known by this person? You know, kind of wondering what's happening, and Genesis kind of slide her eyes over towards the aura that surrounds this person, not even daring to look at them directly. Just they wouldn't have that sort of hubris. They're kind of just checking to see what color the aura is, if it's an approachable disposition.
It's iridescent, ever shifting, ever changing, from one moment to the next. It is the most beautiful chaos you've ever witnessed.
So it's not one color, it's every color.
Constantly shifting, yes.
It's not dark though. It's occasionally dark.
There's moments of dark, yeah.
Like if there were ever an aura for true neutral, this would be it.
Well, it was way more chaotic than that. It's like everything all at once.
So if I were looking at the aura, it would be every color, not just the one. Like tough to pick out any specific one shade of anything.
Oh yeah. I tell you what'll really blow your mind. Is every now and then you're not sure, but you think you're seeing colors that you've never seen before. Colors you don't have names for. She's still sitting there, just happy as can be, waiting on somebody to say something. She asked for names.
Listener was going to address her.
Okay. What's Listener going to do?
Well, he's going to do his normal thing. He's going to try and make contact, but...
What is he going to say?
I was expecting you to have many more guests, but perhaps they're elsewhere within your domain.
Weirdest thing. Instead of a mental connection, a mouth just opened on your face, and you spoke.
It's slightly off kilter.
Oh, that's
like
nasty.
it's rotated a little bit.
Oh, that's so nasty. This is what I'm talking about. It's so invasive. I wasn't even looking at you.
Oh.
That's better.
Oh, that's very strange.
I think I have some tea. Would you like some tea?
Love some. I'm parched.
Well,
I could probably digest tea.
you haven't finished your first cup.
What level of
And you
torture would that be for him? Drinking
Oh,
a
right.
cup of boiled water poured over leaves. Oh my god.
Well, you become part of the tea when you do this, you know?
Yeah,
That's so violent.
he absorbs dead plants all the time.
Yeah, that's perfectly normal.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
Get some good minerals in there.
Hakuna Matata.
Composting.
Hakuna Matata, man.
I don't know. This is wild.
Yeah, but you already have tea. It's half drink.
Oh. Oh, right. Yeah, it was right here in my hand the whole time.
That's right.
Genesis looks at this too and is like, I have no idea what to think.
Listener looks down. He's standing in tea.
I am the tea. Listener tea.
This group, yeah. Oh my god. We're gonna try here to kind of do a check.
Okay. What do you want to check?
Just an insight. Probably not gonna work, but we'll give it a shot anyway, right?
Go ahead.
19 for Genesis, and Istu is equally just not knowing what's going on at all.
Are you gonna look her in the eye when you check her out?
We're we're not looking in the eye. We're just
It's all in the eyes,
casually
man.
gonna-
It's all in the eyes.
no, we're not there yet. We've gone to the aura, the outer edge of the aura, and we're kind of inching our way in, right?
So,
Just to see.
it's a pretty good roll. But you're confused.
Hmm.
She's lying, she's telling the truth, she's angry, but she's not. And she seems a little bored, but absolutely fascinated at the same time.
Nope. No way to get an accurate read on this person at all. Wow. Jeez. This is really eerily similar. Yeah. It's too close to Genesis. I was like, this being reminds me of the other one that we just saw, the one that the one that stuck their tongue down your throat. How are we supposed to understand the intents of these beings that are so beyond us? I don't know what's happening right now.
Are you saying that out loud?
Since I have no other choice, yes. We're just kind of stammering our way through what to do here because I have no idea.
Okay.
Um,
She actually starts to giggle. You're absolutely fascinating. I can understand why you would be overwhelmed. But really, I mean, you came here. You came to visit me. I don't think it's the first time. Certainly not the last.
Curiosity gets the better of Istu, and their eyes slide over to look at her for the first time, and they're like, "Huh?"
She gives this big wide grin, makes eye contact, and she just Istu feels this overwhelming sense of adoration.
Oh no! No.
Like not love, but just I really like this person.
Oh my god. Genesis keeps their eyes averted and is just kind of like, focus, focus.
Listener asks a question.
Okay. With his new verbalizations.
Yes. It doesn't sound much like his voice that you're accustomed to.
Sounds like John Wayne.
No, it just sounds like me. He's supposed to sound like Whispering Leaves, but now it just sounds like me.
That works.
I expected all the people under the dome to be visiting as well, are they not?
What dome?
Oh, there's a big dome. It's on the mother's head. There are many sleeping beneath it.
There's nothing on the mother's head. That's just silly.
I was just there. We've visited from there.
Yes, it was the glimpse of something within that dome that made us go to sleep. Does anybody remember what that was?
Oh, now this... I love these tall tales. These are fantastic and inspiring. And inspired even more. In fact, let's be honest. Most of you are asleep at home right now. Just going on little adventures in your mind. You've been that way for some time. It's nothing to worry about that way. Once you enter here, things take different amounts of time. It may feel like a long time has passed, years even, but when you wake up, it'll be probably to the crowning dawn coming through your window, and you'll realize, wow, what a strange journey I've been on. But this place you seek to get into, according to that, if it is indeed part of this journey, Well, I could help. We're friends, right?
Oh, sure, we go way back.
We're all friends.
Yes.
Good. Because I do get lonely here sometimes. So few people come to visit me here. So encapsulated in their own wonders. Which, far be it from me to interrupt these things. I do so enjoy watching them. Watching you. But it does. It gets so terribly lonely. But I can help you, if that is your wish. Whatever this strange obstacle is, I'd only ask for one small thing in return.
Jimmy begins paying very close attention. The dream negotiations are always the most fun.
She looks at each one of you with a very warm, friendly smile. Like genuinely warm. She says, I would like to abate my loneliness. If one of you will stay here with me, I'll send the rest of you wherever you'd like to go.
My pen just ran out of ink. I'm sorry.
One of you was peering in, trying to sneak a peek, get a little preview of what was to come on your way here. I'm very fascinated by them. They would be an excellent choice.
I refuse to believe that that's the case. I refuse to believe that's the case. No.
So, Genesis, are you saying that out loud?
No.
Here's the thing.
It
It's
doesn't
a
matter.
dream.
It just doesn't fucking matter. I'm saying that's that's
No.
what my
I'm
character
just saying
does.
your internal dialogue just got vocalized. Is all I'm saying. Like,
Oh my God.
In Dreamland, you've got a narrator. You've got narrator voice for your thoughts.
Genesis narrows her eyes, which are averted to the floor, and thinks of all the people. Well, not really all the people, but just the one person that she would hope to see again, and envisions ending their time with this group here in this place with all of these books.
That's a lot of books.
And kind of shakes her head like,
It's a dream, though. You probably can't read any of them.
you can read them all. Every story ever told, every dream ever had. They're here somewhere. And as for you, Genesis, I'm so full of trepidation. You, not so much as these others, though a couple very close, but you understand. You understand this isolating loneliness that I feel. And I think we can help one another with that. I can take that away from you. I can make your, if you'll forgive the colloquialism, dreams come true. All I ask for is your company.
Not to stay fixated on a point. But since you're offering, since it must be real that there is a dome on the mother's head, you should have several hundred other permanent guests. Whatever happened to them?
Oh, what we pretend to know and all the things that we do not. Very seldom do they meet. And in this particular case, once again, beyond this realm, nothing is real. It's imperative that you understand. I understand that you believe that this dome is a thing, and that apparently within it I should have friends. But
Company, at least.
it's not the case. Did you want to say something, Brett?
I mean, earlier I was going to, like, introduce herself, but the conversation moved on from that, like, 15 minutes ago, so no, I'm not saying shit.
Okay. Yeah, she's a little chaotic. She's a hard one to keep up with.
Yeah, that was
It's
out of character.
concerning because I don't. I,
The word you're looking for is yes?
Pick someone else. That one's off limits.
But I've made no forced maneuvers here. I don't intend to harm anyone or anything. I mean no ill will. In fact, I offer comfort and peace in a realm where anything can happen.
so what if my dream wasn't to stay here, but to have you come with us? That way you would have more than just one person as a companion. You'd have several. Various perspectives, various voices of the same story in a larger picture that you could enjoy from several different angles.
The place you're from is so flat. I'm afraid I would grow bored very quickly. And this is my domain. This is my home.
But if we came to visit you once, there's nothing that stops us from visiting you again.
You won't
Is
visit
there?
me again. Just like all the others, you'll be caught up in your own sense of wonder, chasing your own wants and fantasies, nightmares and dreams. You'll forget me the moment you leave. They always do.
Time is, well, it isn't really time here, is it?
I
It's
don't know.
really
the meaning.
it's impressing the heck out of me. I don't Istu's just like, what is happening right now?
I don't know the meaning of the word time, I'm afraid, aside from the concept mentioned by visitors.
I would be
So,
lost here. I'm lost.
so we could stay as long as we liked, really, and still leave. Nothing will have happened, really.
Who's can say? As much as
And
I'd love to
surely-
keep all of you, though, you're all welcome.
Surely even you will tire of our company.
At a certain point,
We're
humans
something
run
a
out of
little
things-
smaller.
Yeah. We run out of things to say. We run out of ideas. We run out of stories to tell. At a certain point, right?
This is the joy of what all of you are. Trapped within that place inside of you, there exists an unlimited, endless amount of creativity, of stories not yet told, of dreams not yet had, of things and wonders not yet imagined. Each and every one of you is a bottomless, endless supply of these things. And it is why I love your kind. With all that I am, I love each and every one of you. And it's why I want at least just one of you to stay and keep me company. Tell me your stories. Share these wonders with me, because I am not like you. Though I am master of this realm, it's you that creates it, piece by piece, dream by dream.
And if we offered you less than forever?
What is forever to me?
An open question, I suppose.
Are you offering to stay? For less than forever?
Yes, if you can. Once our time is through. Well, again, time is the important question here. If I can return just after and continue on my way, having given you exactly what you wanted, having had many interesting conversations on the making of realms.
Is this listener saying all this?
That is listener, yeah. Jimmy wouldn't offer like that. His listeners had a thought. He is attempting to pursue the thought that time is very subjective here and entirely at the orphan's whim. And he is, unlike most intelligent creatures, which would probably go insane, he is built for both infinity and very patient contemplation of things. So he could offer 100 years as long as his mind returns within a few minutes to his body.
I will make you a deal, listener. You stay here with me for a time, since you like this term. After whatever it is you're doing is done. A time to be determined by me. And I will let you go whenever you wish, provided that you replace your presence with another. In the future. Once again, a term that you seem to love and enjoy. What say you?
Good lady, I believe we may have reached an accord.
So be it.
There's one thing my people possess. It is a boundless patience.
So be it indeed. Then our deal is struck, and we have a pact. I do expect you to honor it. But as long as you do so, I'll do everything in my power to make your entire existence filled with endless wonder.
Oh, Lister's an artist.
Thank you, my friends, for coming to visit me. Now I must honor my part of this bargain. But before I do, what of the rest of your company? They were too timid to accompany you here. What of them? Shall we leave them where they are?
Meanwhile, Uki says to Az, he said they've been sleeping for a really long time. Should we be waking them up? It's this first watch has become third watch.
Now it's been like 7 minutes tops. Nah, I think we're gonna need them too, actually. Do you mind if they get a free ride?
Just this once. Well, my friends, I'll be seeing you soon.
Listener waves.
And with that, you ready for this?
Hit it.
Oh boy. Oh no.
All of you, including those of you outside the dome, wake up
No.
in a new place.
You thought you were awake. You were only faking.
Oh my god.
Wait.
Oh, that bodes poorly.
We may need
Wait.
That doesn't look good. Am I still asleep?
Are
Pinch.
they actually here?
you may need to bring a Is2 over again, and I think
Are they actually here? What the fuck?
I guess this is where the attempt would have taken place, isn't it?
So
Am I looking at who I think I'm looking at, or are they only avatars?
you wake up on the stairs of a small sunken chamber. It's cracked, stones, bits of rubble about. The air is thick with a kind of sweet old decay smell. Lots of overgrown plant life that's been just left unattended for far too long. And in the center is a well filled with some type of brackish water. As you kind of rub the sleep from your eyes, those of you who were outside the dome, not even entirely sure how you got here, it feels like you kind of unexpectedly fallen asleep, you know, the unintended nap. We've all been there, let's be honest.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm trying here. It's not working.
Oh, I'll get you. I'm sorry. I got you. Got you in spades.
Thanks.
Big Is2 again.
What the? What happened? I thought I was.
There you go. Oh, here, I'll get you a second one.
Am I still asleep?
As you look
Pinch.
around the room, there is a soft kind of light that seems to permeate the area. Start with you as you look around, your elven senses kind of snapping to attunement very quickly. The first thing you notice is a large female figure laying in repose in that corner of the room. Her clothes stained dark gray and black, her body beaten and withered and decayed, her head lulled over to one side and her hair just spread out in dull black tresses all around her. But it takes only a moment for you to recognize the face that you have spent your entire existence in love with. Not in a corporeal or carnal way, but the way of somebody
Okay.
absolutely devoted to their goddess as you look upon the face of Shah herself.
Somehow I knew this is what we were going to be saying when we entered Sinuface Citadel.
And in the other corner, sitting upright, cross-legged, covered in red and white blood-stained clothes and wearing a blindfold, hair, skin, and fingernails all just stark white and brittle, withered and decayed almost beyond recognition, sitting completely still absolutely drained of all vibrancy that may have once been there, is Sinew Fae.
Sears should talk directly to her avatar. Sears is just like in awe right now, just shaking,
I'm just gonna rush over
falls
and
to her knees.
kneel.
Okay. There's no movement in the room as you rush across the flagstones, kneeling beside the body of your goddess.
Are you alright, Saoirse?
There. Ghost at Sinew Fae.
I'm gonna go over here. I think
Oh,
I'm not really a religious-y person, so
that's the goddess whose avatar you met.
Uh-huh.
Well,
we start looking around.
Okay.
Mhm.
come on.
Is
Hang
there
on
anything
to
in
my
this
arm.
water over here that I'm looking at?
What do you mean?
So we're here for a reason. We need to find something. There's something here that we need to get, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really attuned to either of these, so I'm not really gonna notice it. But I like to think that there's something maybe out of place. So we're just kind of
Alright.
looking for something that seems like it would be significant in
Yeah.
this place, like while they're paying their respects, and saying
Yeah. Well, Genesis may have some cognitive awareness because she has met the avatar of Sinew Fae. Like, you did have a big moment with that one. What it's done since then, I don't know. Of course, that's up to you. But the fact that there are the bodies of two goddesses in the room is a big deal. As far as like things in the room, the pool seems to be brackish water. In fact, it smells kind of off when you get close to it.
back away a bit. They would seem to be the most important things. So let's see. There's nothing immediately right here at the top, is there, between them?
No.
And we recall seeing the newsstands of these two being killed by a third veiled being with a smile.
And the
Or-
statues, you mean?
Right.
Well, that went through every deity.
And that says that's how they told the news before. So there's not any knives anywhere nearby. Are there like
Knives.
indications if people were stabbed or any sort of?
No. I mean, nobody's done really much in the way of investigating as far as the bodies go, but no, there's no knives laying on the floor.
There is precisely one knife that can do that, and I left it at the bottom of the endless plane of water.
True.
So we keep looking around.
Okay.
You walk straight up past and then straight back past Jimmy, who is visibly shook.
Yeah, we kind of carousel around you, sort of, in a way. The movement of the icons is not necessarily indicative of the movement of my characters, but there's three of them, so I didn't really want to take them out of the formation we got them in to kind of indicate that.
I just like to pretend, I like to play along.
You're good.
Are you
Yeah, we
alright
just-
there, Jimmy?
Carousel right around, and then we're gonna keep looking.
He's
around
taking
this.
his hat off, he's got it in front of his chest, he's kind of looking down, he's taking deep breaths. He makes a little sign that is kind of probably completely alien to Bryn. It would have been a sign of Volry roughly 200 years ago. Okay. It's just a little different, you know? Uh, you face off against all these little pissant demigods. You kill a god in waiting, but these were mine. They were real. All right. Well,
We just keep looking.
guess we better get started. There's been a murder. Although it may have been a while ago.
So, as you're just kneeled.
Yeah, I suppose. No, kind of like cradling, checking, holding, like trying to figure out like wounds or whatever.
Okay. You want to do like an investigation or?
Sure,
Okay.
I'm okay at those.
Yeah, go ahead. You're a little distracted. It's understandable.
Assistance is arriving for investigating things.
Okay, good, because I am distraught.
Yeah, it's
That's what
understandable.
I'm trying to do down here, trying to look around and find what I can find or anything.
It's
I'm not
mainly just
investigating at the
old.
bodies.
It's old ruins and rubble. Is most of all what you're gonna find. There's not really anything in there.
Okay. If I look over there, I can look over here.
Jimmy is
Investigate.
contributing some investigation over with Az, specifically for Shaw.
Okay. So that's pretty good. Jimmy, first of all, beyond the initial moments of day zero, you don't really. Jimmy's not really lore friendly beyond that point because he's been away, obviously.
Yes, his experience of the Blight would have been a couple of visions of Cairne, and he did actually walk straight through the middle of it for a period of about 30 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. So she appears to have been struck with some vastly massive, powerful energy. Shaw, in every image of her, wore white and green. And you can tell by looking at the tattered clothes still on her body that they were that color. Whatever hit her singed or infused or charred them black. Whatever it did damaged her very, very seriously. But as you look closer, you see the faint indentations and slight red stains, ancient and faded, of handprints around her neck.
Firstly, Az will hopefully appreciate this. Before he even begins the investigation, Jimmy pulls out his water skin, performs a ritual cleansing of like the hands and the mouth and the face. You know, it's like we got religious rites to observe here.
Good, good.
Certain things are only appropriate after certain rituals.
I'm sure he would appreciate that very much. But yeah, it does appear that she was strangled. Like something after the fact killed her.
Now, mortal couldn't have done this.
Rin would like to investigate Sinufe.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm also up here, so
Okay. Yeah, you both can. No worries at all. Alright. Is it Genesis doing it as well, or?
let me see here. Istu's with Genesis. assisting. I'm going to try to see what we can see.
Okay, go ahead. Well, I'll let you both roll.
Okay.
Oh,
See,
so
we're
you
on
should
the
do it
issue
as well.
sheet.
Okay.
Huh?
Yeah, that's fine. No, go ahead. Roll.
Okay. Okay, right. Yep. Issue sheet. Investigation?
Mm-hmm. Solid.
25.
Mhm.
And then Genesis. Investigation. 23.
Okay. So, the first thing that stands out is that there are no visible wounds on Sinew Faye's form. She was known to kind of have blood-stained garments, and you know, the blindfold is nothing new for those of you who knew her, who she was. The thing that stands out, specifically, we'll say to Saoirse and Genesis, who do have some lore knowledge of Cairne, is that the normally bandaged hands, she always wore bandages on her hands, the bandages are gone, and her hands still, even now, are stained red. She's withered to a husk. Almost like she sat there and just starved to death. Quietly. Without moving.
Would it be ridiculous to look at the hands of Sinew Faye and look at the neck of Shaw and wonder, like...
Not at all.
No, go ahead. Is that a connection you want to make?
I kind of just, I want to take the visual of her fingers and sort of track my eyes along over to Shaw and just kind of guesstimate.
Okay. Well, now you haven't seen Shaw's neck wounds yet.
Okay, they'd be hidden by her hair or something, right?
Yeah, you'd have to actually go over and look. Unless somebody wants to share that information with you, which I'll allow.
Yeah, sure. Jimmy strolls back over.
Okay. So if the information is shared, yeah, you can make the connection. I won't even make you roll. I mean, unless some other god-sized individual came in here with red-stained hands and squeezed the life out of Shaw, it was definitely Sinew Faye.
So you think Sinew Faye killed her?
What?
Genesis wants to go over and check on Az, but doesn't want to get too close.
Mm-hmm.
But that's completely out of character for Sinew Faye. How? How?
Even a peaceful god can have a pretty mighty temper.
Why? I promised. Sinew Faye, I promised I would do right by your people. Why? I promised that to your avatar.
Oh.
All right.
Lost a snake.
Az, are you okay?
No.
Hey, welcome back.
Welcome back.
Return of snacks.
I moved locations and
You're good.
Welcome.
Nice.
Wilhelm moves into comfort search.
Okay.
That'd be a Wilhelm move, I think.
Sounds good. So,
Wilhelm's still sick, remember?
Right. I forgot that
Yeah,
about his
no,
character.
have him move in and comfort her.
No.
He'll sneeze, it'll be great.
Listener will take that one.
Oh my God.
So, it's a very heavy moment. Obviously, there's a lot of emotions in the air, a lot of wonder, a lot of questions. I will say this, and since Genesis was the one kind of going back and forth, while Istu, I think, stayed, and Istu would be a more practical investigation because there's literally no attachment.
Yeah.
Istu noticed something. You see how Sinuface's sitting, kind of cross-legged and leaned over, their hands forward, in her lap, kind of under the folds of her clothes and hair and everything. She saw a glint of something metal in there. Or they.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Istu saw it.
Yeah.
This Istu's gonna come over here on this side. And then this one's gonna come up here at the top. Both in tandem, casting the same spell at the same time.
Okay. What are we casting?
I'm looking at the wrong sheet here. We're gonna carefully cast Mage Hand to
Okay.
try our best to delicately extract this metallic thing together.
Okay. We'll keep it simple unless anyone wants to interrupt. So
No.
we'll say no. Okay. You managed to extract it. It's not difficult. In her lap was a bowl, right? About the size of a salad bowl or soup bowl, made of silver and gold, filled with a crystal clear liquid, and a small scrawled note attached.
One of the Istus holds the bowl with both hands carefully, and the other Istu kind of carefully. The scrawled note isn't desiccated, is it?
No.
Like it's like a normal parchment. It's not gonna break if I try to unroll it, or
It's very old and no, it won't. It's not that brittle.
we kind of look at the note and see if we can understand what it says.
Do you read or speak Halfling? Or have an ability to comprehend languages or anything?
Yeah,
Yeah?
we'll do that.
Okay.
I need to roll for that, right?
Are you casting a spell or?
Right.
No, you're good.
Okay.
So, it's very simple note. It doesn't say a lot. It just says, for my people, so destroyed by hers, the last of my tears. Should anyone
Oh,
find
no.
this?
Sorry.
Should anyone find this, don't let their deaths be in vain.
That It seems like a perfect time to call it a night.
I have a plan for what I'm gonna do with this, but it's gonna take some scheming.
Okay. Well, we can wrap here. I know we've gone a good bit over tonight. I know it's kind of a wild night. I hope this was cool. Like you guys.
Yeah, it was.
It's very interesting.
I did want this to be a kind of a big, special night and kind of a big reveal. Plus you get to meet the orphan, who, as you know, I love the orphan. She's one of my favorite Pact Lords.
Yeah.
So I hope that sense of whimsy and wonder came across in the Dreamlands.
Oh, it definitely did. You described it really well. I was impressed.
Thank you. This will actually be a new addition, along with the Nexus Veil. This realm, the Dreaming Veil, it will be a location added within the source book eventually here. We now know the fates of both Senufei and Shaw. Which this is a huge moment in historical canon for Cairne. Your characters are the ones who discovered it. As long as at least one of you makes it back alive to report it, it will go into the annals of history. Which I hope one of you will at least make it back, right?
Yeah.
No, we're gonna find
Oh,
out.
yeah.
Listener,
I'm on the hook.
you're on the hook. So after tonight, I will say we are going to go ahead and level
Ooh, fancy.
Everyone?
everyone.
That's 20, I think.
Yeah.
That is 20!
Listener,
Yes.
I do require you take a level of artist.
That seems fair.
Yeah, you will be pledged, of course, to the Foundling Glade and the Orphans Pact.
Yep. I gotta pull up the damn pages for the artist.
The sigil characters are level 20! We made it, baby!
Yeah, congratulations on hitting level 20 in a single campaign. It only
Yes.
took 5 years.
Almost 5 years. And that means I am going to order a charm of Bryn off of Hero Forge.
There you go.
Because that was my plan. If Bryn hit level 20, I was going to order like a brass jewelry charm of her from Hero Forge.
Cool. Well, I mean, it's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
It's people do not hit level 20.
Yeah, and it's for a character that I care a lot about, so.
Well, that's good. I'm glad. I do hope you guys all had fun tonight. Like I said, it was a big deal. A lot of big reveals, a lot of heavy, crazy stuff going on. We'll pick back up here next week, obviously. With the flip flop, we'll be back with the Sigil Confidential header. Same party. Even though they're the same story, I guess we're kind of flip-flopping and seeing it from the two perspectives as far as the lead goes, if that makes sense.
So, one thing that you didn't describe, though, is then, what was Uki and Az dreaming about during all that time?
Well, Az was with them.
Oh, Az was with. Okay, I
Yeah.
thought Az and I were, like, in one part of that room.
No, Uki decided to stay behind with Wilhelm.
Oh, but
One of the Istus.
One of the Istus, Wilhelm, and Cinder, and Saoirse.
oh,
So
got it.
I think the thing is that we established who was awake and who was asleep at the time, but we didn't establish that even though there is a watch order, they're not necessarily sleeping.
Yeah, but you guys got pulled into the Dreaming Veil by one of the Pack Lords. Basically, she just decided, okay, it's time for you to go to sleep.
You have been yoinked.
Yeah.
But even though they yoinked us, it wasn't that we were actually with the party. It was that we were basically dreaming as if we were on watch.
Yeah. No, that's an excellent way of looking at it, actually.
So that would give that false sense of, oh, everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's just peacefully sleeping.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all good. And
Which,
and it's going to be a story to tell between the ones that stayed and the ones that went too. I think that'll be interesting. But next time we come together, we can finish kind of whatever leads here. I know you guys just found something very, very significant, which we'll explore and go over, obviously.
So the Sigil group is 20 and the Cairne group is 17, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
18.
Is it 18?
Yeah, Saoirse's level 17 currently.
Okay,
I
yeah,
didn't
no.
update her sheet.
Hey, 18. That's cool.
All right.
That means they're even close to maxing. At least as far as that system goes. But yeah, you guys are making great headway. I know tonight it was a little bit of a head warper trying to figure out what to do. You're inside that dome now. If you haven't figured that out, you're in that central building.
Kind of assumed.
Yeah, I figured.
But yeah, once again, a lot of lore pumping out. I'm looking forward to this, and we're closing the gap on finale points.
Yeah, I still need to introduce y'all to a friend of mine.
It's getting wild. But yeah, we'll call it there. Of course, those of you who are still watching, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you had a good time too. Those who watched later on, same for you. Wednesday, Drunken Thunder. Thursday should be Zombicide. Friday should be Walking Dead. And we'll be back Saturday, of course, as usual. So come see us. Join the Discord. Don't miss out. We'll see you soon.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.